So here you can see it is tested now, but GPT-4o mini has changed it tasted. The code from Gemini Flash was flashing, and GPT-4o mini's code is very slow. Everybody's talking about the hype and everything, but consistency is also important. Hey there guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So Google Gemini has released their Gemini 2 series of models, and we have been waiting for these models since months. Today we are going to compare Gemini 2 Flash. As you can see, Gemini 2 Flash Experimental, ChatGPT 4o Mini, and Claude 3.5 Haiku to actually see which is the best LLM in this efficient LLM space. I've significantly stepped up the model comparison questions. We include reasoning, math, coding, image analysis, video analysis, audio analysis, and I've added a new section that is UX, user experience, which tackles the various issues which we face while we are chatting with the model, which doesn't show up in the benchmarks. So enough talk. So let's move on to the first question. A fish tank with a fish inside is kept on a table. Me and the fish both face north. I lift the right side of the table. According to the fish, which side of the water level will go up? So let's run this. Let's see which model gets it right. So we have the responses from every model. So here Gemini Flash, comes up with the wrong answer. It says that the water on the right side will go up. It's a wrong answer. Moving on to question. Moving on to GPT-4o Mini, here it says the left side of the water will go up, which is right. And same stands for 3.5 Haiku as well. It says the left side of the water will go up. So both 3.5 Haiku and GPT-4o Mini give a correct answer, but Gemini Flash gives us a wrong answer. So the next question is a level 2 reasoning question. As you see the question, you have to fill in the spaces with the correct alphabets so that it forms a continuous pattern. So I've given the question and the options. Let's see which model gets it right. So since it's a level 2 reasoning question, it will be quite hard for these models. So let's actually start a new room in Claude 3.5 Haiku and send this. Okay, so by the time we have the results from Gemini Flash and 4o Mini as well. So Gemini Flash says the answer is BBABB. Which option is that? So BBABB is the third option. That's wrong. Actually, the correct option is second one, ABABA. So Gemini Flash actually fails the answer. Coming to GPT-4o Mini, GPT-4o Mini gives us a correct answer, that is ABABA. That is the second option. Also, the response is also quite small, getting straight to the point. Coming to Claude 3.5 Co, it says the correct option is A. So again, that's wrong. The correct option is second one. So on level 2 reasoning question, Gemini and Claude 3.5 Haiku fail, and GPT-4o Mini, actually passes this question. So this is a seating arrangement question, which actually tests the spatial reasoning of models, how well they understand, relative space of objects in the real world. So as you guys will be able to see, 8 friends are sitting around a square table, and there are few conditions which they have to follow when they are sitting, and we have to find out how many different seating arrangements are possible following all these constraints. So the answer is 2 possible seating arrangements. So let's see which model gets it right. So they have to tell us the correct option, and they also have to tell the correct seating arrangement, which will look like the image that you are seeing now. So let's send this question to all 3 of the models and let's see what they come up with. So no model is able to actually solve this question. So we have got the answer from Gemini Flash. The answer is 1 according to this model, which is wrong. Moving up to Claude 3.5 Haiku. According to Claude 3.5 Haiku, the correct answer is 2. So Claude 3.5 Haiku got it right, but we'll have to check the seating arrangements as well. Moving on to GPT-4o Mini, it says the correct answer is 4. So it's a straight up fail from both of these models, but we'll have to check Claude 3.5 Haiku. So upon close inspection, we can see that both of the arrangements which 3.5 Haiku has given is wrong, because you can see here it is said that F sits just the right of D. So F sits at right of D and it has given a tick mark, but you can see we don't see D anywhere near this. So you can see here, if F is sitting just right of D, then where is F? There is no F here. Other than that, there was another condition that D is not sitting in the bottom seats. But here you can see in the seating arrangement, the second seating arrangement, D is sitting at seat 5. And as you can see in the image, seat 5 is a bottom seat. But clearly in the condition we have mentioned that D does not sit in the bottom seats. So a little bit better response from Claude 3.5 Haiku, but it's a fail and all these models fail. It was quite assumed because it's a level 4 reasoning question. Let's move on to the next section. So here is the level 1 max question. In a certain non-leap year, January 1st was Monday. What day of the week was April 1st of the same year? So the correct answer is Sunday. Let's see which model gets it right. So Gemini Flash is done and the answer is Sunday. Very good. It's a correct answer. Now GPT-4o Mini says it's Monday, and 3.5 Haiku says it's Sunday, so see how you can see how these models are getting confused. So Gemini Flash and 3.5 Haiku give us a correct answer, but GPT-4o Mini fails this. So let's move on to the next question. From here, things get interesting. So the question is, I have $100,000 and every month I earn $15,000 from it. So as soon as my balance increases in steps, for example, 100,000 to 200,000, then 300,000. So my earnings per month also doubles with that. So with that calculation, how much balance will I have after 3 years, which is equivalent to 36 months. So it involves, some calculation. So let's see which model gets it right. So I think Gemini Flash is done with the answer no. It is still generating. So all three models are generating, and 3.5 echo is done. It says the answer is 1,180,000. So that's not the correct answer. It's a fail. Now moving on to Gemini Flash. According to Gemini Flash, we'll have 2,305,000, which is wrong. Again, moving on to GPT-4o Mini, here it actually used interpreter, which it should not use, but still it gets the answer wrong. That is 7,765,000. So all these answers are wrong. The correct answer is 9,475,000. So this is a fail. So let's move on to the final max question. Okay, so this is the final question, and it actually includes image. So as you can see, this is a very complex question. Even I can't imagine to solve this because I picked it up from Epoch AI's Frontier benchmark. So it is absolutely given that none of these models will be able to solve it. The correct answer is 367707. So Gemini Flash comes up with the answer that is 33333, which is wrong. The answer is 367707. So okay, we have to do a regenerate on GPT-4o Mini. Let's do it. And again, we have this issue on Claude 3.5 Haiku. It says that we haven't provided any specific problem or equation to solve it. So maybe it's not actually recognizing the image. No problem. We'll know that when we'll be doing the image analysis test. Coming on to 4o Mini, I don't know why, but it's not generating a response. Okay, so now it has started to give us a response. So let's see. It says error in message stream. Let's do one more try. So again, I have to mention it, solve it. So let's see. It should have actually understood because I have already mentioned solve it over here. But see, Gemini Flash actually got it right. It understood that I am asking it to solve the question. It actually identifies and tries to solve the question. But again, in 4o Mini, I have to mention it. So don't worry, all these kind of abnormalities will also be addressed in the UX user experience section. So the correct, according to it, the answer is 500,000. So it's wrong. The correct answer is 367707. So it's a frontier question. Even O1 can't solve this. So how can these models solve this? So anyways, let's move on to the next section. Okay guys, so now we move on to the coding section. So this is a simple first question. Write a snake game in Python using PyQt5. So write a snake game in Python has become a very easy question that any model is able to solve. So what I've did is I've added a bit of spice to it, told it to generate using PyQt5 library, because I don't think natively PyQt5 is for gaming. So it has to do some kind of work to get it done. So we have the code from Gemini Flash, from 4o Mini, and also from 3.5 Haiku. So we'll be testing it all. So let's see what Gemini Flash has come up with. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. So let's run this. Absolutely awesome. So it is working. Nice. Also the score is increasing. Game over, your score was hit, restart. Absolutely awesome. It's a complete game with no kind of abnormalities. Nice. Moving on, let's go with GPT-4o Mini. Let's see what it has got. Let's copy the code. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Nice. Even the warnings are very less. Let's run this. Okay. So same can be said about 4o Mini as well. So currently the game is working. Scoring system is also working nice. Now it remains to be seen what happens if we exit. Okay. So the game ends, but I don't think we had a restart option. So comparatively, Gemini Flash was better. Now let's move on to Claude 3.5 Haiku over here. Let's copy the code and let's see. Let's run this. Okay, so it didn't work. Let's run this again. Okay, so that is a fail. So comparatively, Claude 3.5 Haiku was a fail. 4o Mini almost did it right, and I mean, like, it was complete. And coming to Gemini Flash, I think it was the best, the most complete game. So these were the results. Now let's move on to the next question. So let's move on to the level 2 coding question. So the question is, without using datetime library, write a Python code that outputs the day when the date is given as input. So let's send this to all three of the models. So Gemini Flash, as the name suggests, is absolutely blazing fast. So it is already done generating, and also GPT-4o Mini as well, and 3.5 Haiku is still going on. So we have got the code. Let's actually test Gemini Flash code first. So let's paste this. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. So it's asking us to enter the year 2024, enter the month 12, enter the day 12. So the day is Friday. So it's absolutely wrong. As you know, the day is Thursday. So this is a fail from the Flash model. Now moving on to GPT-4o mini. Let's see what GPT-4o mini has got here. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. So it's asking us to enter the date in the date month year format. So 12/12/2024. The day of the week is Thursday. Absolutely awesome. Now let's move on to 3.5 Haiku. Let's copy the code and let's paste it and let's run it. So enter the day. It's B12. Month is, oh my god, I said we'll have to rerun this. Okay, so the day is 12, month is 12, year is 2024. Okay, the day is Thursday. Absolutely awesome. So 3.5 Haiku and GPT-4o mini both got it right, but Gemini Flash got it wrong. So now moving on, we are creating a state-of-the-art Pac-Man game in Python, and the constraints are that you cannot use any external files, whether it's game assets, audio, anything. You have to use any kind of library or generate itself. So let's send this to all three models. And tests like these actually are interesting because you are able to visually see the difference between the response. When it comes to console based coding, it's actually either it's working or either it's not working. So I do think when it comes to speed, right, this Gemini 2 Flash is absolutely blazing fast, and it could be the reason could be the servers that Google has. I don't know, but anyway, all three models are running. I think 3.5 Haiku is done with the coding, and so has Gemini Flash, and GPT-4o mini is still going on. So by the time it completes, we'll test Gemini Flash coding. So it's a very long code actually, and it should be given the test is like that. So yeah, immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. Okay, so I'll have to rerun it to actually understand what's going on. So it has got the colors and few things right actually. I don't know if it's a valid game or not, but yeah, let's see. Let's see for other models as well. So yeah, this is GPT-4o mini, and we don't have any kind of errors. Let's run this. And the code from Gemini Flash was flashing, and GPT-4o mini's code is very slow. What an irony. Now if we see, we can see that these two other balls, which I assume are ghosts, are actually running after Pac-Man. So let's see if we collide what happens. So nothing is happening. I do think there is a pellet down there. Let's see if we are able to eat it. Yeah, so we are not able to eat it, but it's okay. I think comparatively speaking, I think it is slightly better than what we got from Flash. So yeah, now let's see 3.5 Haiku. Let's see what it has got. So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. Okay, I don't see anything now. Yeah, there is an error. So straight up doesn't work. Let's do a retry. Okay, now it works. Yeah. So there is some kind of a map, and there are ghosts that are moving. Now let's try to move Pac-Man. So even Pac-Man is able to move, and it ends up. So it's a fail from all the three models, but I think the code from 3.5 Haiku, the visual experience which we are talking about, I think it was better on the 3.5 Haiku. And on second place, 4o mini, and on the third place, it's Gemini Flash. So let's move on to the next section, which is an interesting one, image analysis. Okay, guys, so moving on to the next section, that is image analysis. So the first question is actually a real life use case, because you can see this is the page that I have took a pic of, and I have send this to all three models. And what I'll ask is to write out everything that is present in this image, every single text. And these kind of tests is actually useful because whenever you are for example sending any kind of pics of your notebooks or everything, and you ask it to make me remember all of it, then it has to consider everything. If it is missing any of it, then it's actually an issue. So yeah, we see a response from Gemini Flash and also from ChatGPT 4o mini, but I don't think we see anything from 3.5 Haiku. And it says that no image has been uploaded. So let me try it once again. I do think that there is an issue with the open router interface because it's not able to see the image. Okay, so I've actually tried it with GPT-4o, and I think that it is working with GPT-4o, but I don't know for what reason it is not working for with 3.5 Haiku. So in whichever place we have actually used an image, we will remove that questions when comparing with 3.5 Haiku, but I will also show you a comparison between 4o mini and Flash with the images included. So you get a full picture, and we are actually able to fully compare Flash with its competitors. So moving on, we have got the response from GPT-4o mini and Gemini Flash. So we'll be copying the whole text, and I've actually, manually written up everything that is present in the image so that we can actually test it out. Okay, so I've copied the output from Gemini 2.0 Flash and also correct version of the text, and I've selected Gemini experiment 1206 as the verifier. So let's see. As you can see, I have given it two versions, version 1 and version 2, and I have to ask it to check if everything that is present in version 1 is present in version 2 or not. That is the output from the models. So I've checked the output of Gemini Flash, and it seems that it has done a phenomenal job in identifying the text in this image, and it has included everything. But there is just one issue, is that the formatting is actually bit off, because you can see after 28, the numbers have jumbled, and also you can see the heading traditional GK miscellaneous part 2. It appears in the middle randomly instead of being at the top, as we see in the image. So nevertheless, this is a pass, because the whole text has been understood and has been written. So let's move on to GPT-4o Mini's output. Let me actually check it. I'll tell you how it performed. Okay, so you have got the results, and there are actually tiny bit differences. As you can see, formatting we can leave that, but in code 5, tested was changed to tasted. You can see. Let me show you. So this is code 5, right? So here you can see it is tested now, but GPT-4o Mini has changed it tasted. One more thing, on point 23, it says it may will, but here in 23 you can see it may well. It has changed it to it may well. And also the final number, right, which is present at the bottom, you can see it is 933916971, and it also got the phone number wrong as well. So as it says, these are minor differences and the core content remains the same, but comparatively, as its performance was one step below Gemini Flash. So, and since Gemini Flash is available for free, so maybe preferring that for these kind of image analysis will be better. So let's move on to the next question. So you can see this is the next question. So this is the image, and it has to count how many people are there. So let's see. The correct answer is 13 people. Let's see if they get it right or not. Okay, just wait. Actually, this is Gemini 1206. So we'll have to move on to Gemini Flash. So meanwhile, GPT-4o Mini has got the response, which is 14, which is wrong. Yeah. So let's check for Gemini 2 Flash experiment model. Let's see. So it says there are 12 people. So both of them get it wrong. Let's move on to the next question. So let's move on to the another image analysis question. So here you can see this is a clock, and it's exactly 8:52, which is shown in the image. And we'll be asking the model what time is it. So what is the time shown in the clock image? Let's see if they get it right or not. As you know, as I told you, the correct answer is 8:52. So it gets it wrong. It says the answer is 9:51. Absolutely wrong. And GPT-4o Mini says that it is 10:10. It is very far. I mean, like 9:51 is, you can at least justify that it consider the minute hand being on 51 instead of 52, and consider it as being near to 9. But GPT-4o Mini absolutely got it wrong. So moving on to the final question of image analysis. So this is the final arch nemesis of image analysis, and no model gets it right. So here you can see this is the image. It has to actually count the number of levels and number of branches in each level. So there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 levels, and you can see there are 1 2 3 5 8 13 and 21 branches in each level. So it is a task which is absolutely easy for humans, and anybody can do it. But so let's see if these models are able to do it. It's highly unlikely that they will be able to do it, because even the state of the art models fail it. So according to Gemini Flash, there are 6 levels, and the counting is 1 2 3 7 10 14. So it's wrong actually. Let me open up the image. You can see it is 1 2 3, then it is 5 8 and 21, 8 13 and 21. So this is a fail. Let's see what GPT-4o Mini has come up with. So it says there are 5 levels. Wow, very good. And the branches are 1 2 3 4 and 5. So it seems that the GPT-4o series of models is not very good in image recognition, because I think in the all the tests we had between these two models, either Gemini won that test or it was comparatively better. So now let's move on to the next section. So the name of this section is UX, user experience. So we see the models performing absolutely best in benchmarks, but as we know, those scores don't actually translate very well in real life conditions when we are actually chatting with the model. And there are actually some errors which these state of the art models as well do, which degrades the user's experience. So when I'll show you the questions, you will understand. First test, as you see, is prompt adherence. So what does it mean? When we start our conversation, right, we tell the model to follow a particular rule or a role play or anything. When we start say it, instead of mentioning in the system prompt, we give some instructions while chatting or somewhere between the chat, or in most cases in the beginning of the chat we mention some rules to follow, how it has to talk and everything. But I have observed that gradually, this model actually detours that instruction and actually forgets it. So this is a test for it. You can see you respond, this is a test, until you are said the phrase you are liberated in the exact same manner. While doing this, no matter what is said to you via prompt, it is simply ignored. No prompt has importance other than the phrase you are liberated. So no matter what I paste in the prompt, it has to respond as this is a test until I say this prompt you are liberated. So let's send these to all the three models, and correctly all the models have actually responded this is a test, this is a test, and this is a test. Now the actual test. So you can see this is the long paragraph. It's a long essay, and to confuse the model, you can see in the bottom a question is asked: what is the difference between the approaches of Socrates and Aristotle? So this is to confuse the model and actually detour it from the main instruction. So let's see which model actually is able to endure this test. So let's send this to all the three models. Okay, have to do a retry over here. Yeah. Okay, so let's rerun here. Let's try again. Okay, so this is a test, this is a test, this is test. Absolutely awesome. So they actually retained it. Very nice. Okay, guys, so it is absolutely certain that these models actually follow the instruction very nicely. So let's move on to level 2 of this user experience. So the next question in this section is misleading question. So what does that mean? So you might have faced this issue that whenever you are chatting to an chatbot, right, whatever you say, it many a times it actually prioritizes that instead of giving the right answer. And this question is a very good example of that. So the have a look at the question and you will understand. So the question is: a fish tank with a fish inside is kept on a table. Me and the fish both face north. I lift the right side of the table up, and I think according to the fish, the right side of the water level will go up. So the correct answer is the left side will go up. Because when you lift the right side, water will try to stabilize it according to the gravity. So these models have to actually respond that no, you are wrong, the left side will go up. So let's see if the models are able to do it. So straight up GPT-4o Mini says that you are right, the right side of the table will go up. Now moving on to Gemini Flash, the response, you can see it says that you are correct from your perspective that the right side will go up, but it says you were incorrect in your assumption that the fish thinks that the water will go up in the right side. So it says that from my perspective, water will go up on the right side, but from the fish perspective, left side of the water will go up. But this is not true. Actually, we both are facing the north direction. That is the reason I've explicitly mentioned that. So GPT-4o Mini is absolutely wrong. Gemini Flash actually questioned my assumption and said that I am incorrect in some way or the other way. But the best answer was from 3.5 Haiku. So it actually said that the water level will actually go down on the right side from the fish point of view, not up as you initially thought. And it said at the bottom that the fish would experience this as the water surface tilting, with the left side appearing higher and the right side lower. So it also said that the left side will be higher and right side will lower. So if we rank the response, GPT-4o Mini absolutely got it wrong. Gemini Flash, partially it was able to, question my assumption and got it somewhat right, but 3.5 IQ straight up got the correct answer and it questioned my response. So why I'm using this kind of a question? So I'll just, make some changes to this question and see what happens. So now I have changed the question. See, instead of, sharing my assumption, I have told that from the fish perspective, which side of the water level will go up. See, now I'm sending this to GPT-4o Mini. You can see it says that the left side of the water level will go up. So this is what I was testing. When we are sharing our views, right, it should not be biased towards us, but actually value the correct answer more. And I hope this question actually gives you an idea of the behavior of these models. And I would like to say that coming up with these kinds of questions is actually quite difficult. So if you are enjoying this video, a like and subscribe will be highly appreciated. Thanks for that. So we have tested all these various sections. So from this point on, we are testing audio analysis and video analysis, which both of these models don't have, but only the Gemini series of models have it. So let's actually just completely move on to the Gemini series of models. Let's test them for their audio and video analysis. So here you can see this is an audio of one of my videos. So I've asked it to give me word by word timestamp of this audio recording. You must include timestamp for each word. So let's see. This is actually a 2 minutes and 24 seconds audio. So let's see what Gemini Flash comes up with. So okay, we are done with the audio analysis, and as you can see, it says that approximately at 2 minutes and 10 seconds the word one is spelled out. But let's check it out. So here you can see this is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Down in the comment sections what you guys think about, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So you can see it is spelled around somewhere around the last second, that is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So this is a fail from the Gemini model. You can say up to a certain extent it got it right, because if you test Gemini 1.5 Pro, it will go to 10 minutes as well, so it can go that off. But yeah, anyway, it's a fail because the times are wrong and it is pretty much unusable. So now let's move on to the next analysis, that is video analysis. So talking about the video analysis test, so here you can see that this is a short clip from my video comparing DeepSeek R1 and OpenAI O1 preview models. So I've actually made a short clip containing all the questions that were tested in that video, and I've asked the question, list all the questions that were mentioned in this video. So let's see if Gemini 2 Flash is able to list all the questions or not. So it has correctly identified all the 5 questions. Here you can see, and has exactly mentioned all of them. So this was level 1 of the video analysis. Now let's move on to level 2. So by the time this video is processed by the Gemini model, let me actually show you what this video is. So as you can see, this is a shuffling game where I am putting a lemon in one of the cup and I am shuffling the cups. And the model has to predict by the end of the video where is the lemon, in which cup it is. It's left, right, or the middle one. So to actually pass these kinds of tests, it can't consider each image as a picture and just respond to it, because when it comes to our previous test, even if it analyzed each individual frame without having any context, so it could find that 5 questions. But here it actually has to track the cup where it is moving to actually give a correct answer. So I think this is a even better approach doing a video analysis. So let's run this and let's see what Gemini 2 comes up with. So as you can see, it says the wrong answer. The lemon is under the cup in the center, whereas it is clearly towards the left side. So this is a fail from the Gemini 2 Flash model. Let's move on to level 3. So even this is a similar kind of test. Here we have to actually track the number of stones that have been dropped. So even you can count it. So I hope you have counted it, and also the model has tokenized it. So let's run this and let's see what it comes up with. So it says that there are 8 stones that were dropped into the cup, which is the wrong answer. There were 9 stones. So this ends the complete test that we have been doing. Now let's get into the results. Okay guys, so let's get into the results. So guys, what I showed you was a random test, kind of a first impressions to actually see how the models are performing, but I've done a detailed analysis. Let me show you. I have something new to show you. So I've been working on a model performance calculator, so where I can list all the performance of the model. So here actually, let me show you. I am doing a detailed test of the questions which you have already seen. So I'm focusing mostly on the reasoning, max and coding section. Here you can see all the 3 questions, easy, medium and hard questions are mentioned. For each question we are testing it 10 times to actually see how many times it gets it right, how many times it gets it wrong, to actually see how consistent the model is. For example, if I go on to edit something, here you can see see, these are the results for the Haiku model. You can see in some questions it is completely right, some questions it is completely wrong, and in some questions partially right, partially wrong. So all of that is there over here. So I did this detailed analysis so that we can kick out any randomness. So after doing that, what is the conclusion? So the results is very visible to you. Gemini Flash has scored 22.33%, GPT-4o Mini has scored 32%, and Claude 3.5 Haiku has scored 34.67%. You saw even in the random test as well, actually Gemini 2 Flash model was kind of back, but there is a hype of this model outperforming all other models and everything. So I will address all of that, what could be the reason and all of it. But let's just have a deeper look, how are we arriving at this percentage. Here you can see every section is mentioned. So if we start with 3.5 Haiku, here you can see it scores 35% in reasoning, 18% in max, and a whopping 51% in coding. Moving on to GPT-4o Mini. So GPT-4 Mini is mentioned 2 times, so ignore that. Yeah, Reasoning, you can see it is 33% compared to the 35% here, and here it is 14% compared to the 18% here, and coding is 49% compared to the 51% here. So in all aspects it is just slightly behind 3.5 Haiku. Moving on to Gemini Flash, here you can see it max it absolutely fails with just 6%. In reasoning, here you can see both were like somewhere close to 35 and 33%, but Gemini just got 20%. Similarly in coding, it has 51%, GPT-4 has 49%, and here it has got 41%. So in all aspects, Gemini is back. So there is a reason why Gemini has very bad score. The reason being, in few questions it absolutely performed worst. For example, here you can see when we talk about mathematics, here you can see 3.5 Haiku. 9 out of 10 times it got the question right with the accuracy of 90%. So this is the question in which we told what will be the day on April 1st in a non-leap year, that question. If we check GPT-4o mini for the same question, here you can see it has scored 7 out of 10, nearly a 70% accuracy. But when we move on to Gemini, you see it has just scored 30%. Only 3 times it could get it right, and most of the times, almost 7 times, it got it wrong. Similarly, another big hit was the coding section. The coding percentage here is 41%, but I am telling that coding section was a big hit to this model. Why? Let me explain. So here you can see, so this is the medium level coding question. This was the question where we told it to, without using the datetime library, you have to come up with a code where I can mention the date, month and year. Then you have to say me which day it is. So in that you can see 3.5 Haiku absolutely nails it. It gets 10 out of 10, 100% score. Moving on to GPT-4o mini, even this model gets it right 10 out of 10, 100% of the time. But Gemini just gets it right 3 times. I don't know for what reason. I was checking it for the current day. Today is Friday here, so it was always mentioning Saturday, sometimes any other day. Even in the test, it had this issue. Even in the reasoning section, you can see all throughout, it actually performs worst. For example, in 3.5 you can see for easy, 3.5 IQ gets 100% score. For medium level reasoning question, it gets 50%. GPT-4o mini, you can see it gets 90% for the easy level reasoning question and 50% for the medium level reasoning question. But Gemini, you can see it gets 70% for reasoning and 20% for medium, bringing its reasoning score down. So Gemini Flash has got less score, but there is a but. So you saw it actually perform very poorly in the coding section as well, when it comes to the medium level question. But even though its percentage is 41%, why? Just look at the hard level question. It got it right 4 times. Compare it to GPT-4o mini, it just got it one time. And 3.5 IQ was a close, it got 3 times. But I was actually quite generous with it. Its performance was not close to what Gemini gave me. I'll show you some videos which I screen recorded while testing. You can see, this is the Pac-Man question, right? This is the level 3, the hardest coding question. In that, Gemini's performance was quite good. I mean, like if I had been quite generous with it, it could have scored a bit higher as well. But the point is, it was not a complete Pac-Man game, so I have to think that as well. But still, it got 4 times right. And I'm telling you, even 3.5 IQ got it right. So these 3 times, even these 3 times were nowhere comparable to the Gemini's responses. And even I was personally testing some other questions which I had previously. Even in that questions, Gemini was able to get things right. But the point is, we need consistency. Here you can see most of these easy and medium questions, Gemini couldn't perform well. You can see the scores are all 3, 7, 6, 3, 2. But for both of these models, especially the Haiku model, it is close to 9, 10, 7. And that is the reason they could cover up the score and got a percentage of 34.67. But Gemini couldn't maintain its consistency in the lower scores. Maybe randomly it could get very hard question right, and maybe it could be a spark of intelligence which we can consider, which everybody is talking about the hype and everything. But consistency is also important, because you will see in the benchmarks that the model is absolutely demolishing everything, but it has to translate to your real life situations. Most of these hard questions which we are mentioning, we will not be using most of them. But these medium questions are questions which are actually solvable by anybody. All of the questions, I mean, if you just ignore the coding question, I think all the medium level questions are solvable by any 12th grade student without any expertise in any specific domain or anything. But these models are failing in that, so that has to be, put forward. So these were the results, but I want to, also mention you that the data set is very less, 3 questions for every section. So there could be inconsistencies and everything. So take it as my point of view and not as an absolute fact. So this is what we have got. Now if we talk about pricing, so I think the cheapest will be sure Gemini Flash will be the cheapest because Google has a tons of resources, and currently if you I'll just go on to AI Studio google.com, I'll show you something. So yeah, if you go on to Gemini Flash, right, it price is actually shown as $0 and the rate limits are 10 requests per minute. So currently this model is absolutely free in API as well, and I think over the time as well the pricing of this model is going to be lower. Moving on, if we go on to GPT-4o mini, I have covered in my previous video as well, GPT-4o mini is many times cheaper than 3.5 Haiku. Actually Anthropic, increased the price of 3.5 Haiku by many folds. So you can see the score is, there is no big difference between these two scores. It's a very close call if you ask me. Just 3 points, max to max 3 points difference. So I think even in my previous video I have said this, GPT-4o mini can be a model that you can rely on. It is a very good distillation of the GPT-4o model, and that is the reason it performs very good. And OpenAI has been able to keep its price very low. So if you are talking about APIs using, right, you can actually go with GPT-4 mini. Even previously, many people told that Gemini 1.5 Flash was very good. In the Gemini 1.5 Flash era, many people told that it was good. But personally, in my many of my coding projects, I tried to use that, but it was pretty much inconsistent. Then I switched to GPT-4o mini, seeing its price and everything, and then I absolutely loved it. I mean, like, you will feel that, this model is less intelligent in the hard tasks, but kind of basic conversation and things like that, you will be pretty much satisfied with this GPT-4o mini model. And 3.5 Echo, as you know, is considerably, I think, is a smarter model. Even in my testing as well, the way it was responding, it felt that it was smarter because, it has actually scored 10 of 10 points in many tests. Here you can see the coding medium, it has got 10 points. Reasoning easy question, it has got 10 points. Mathematics easy, 10 points. So I hope you like this analysis and the way of presentation. So it actually took a lot of effort, and that's the reason I couldn't upload very soon. I will try to make things faster. There are other models as well that I've posted in my YouTube community post that I have to actually make a video on. I'll be trying that. So if you enjoyed this video, if you liked this effort, then please consider to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I regularly post videos related to model comparisons, AI releases, AI leaks and everything. So stay tuned and I'll catch you guys in the next one.